Welcome to Dig Deep, the mining podcast. In this podcast, we go deep into mining news, hot topics, and live interviews with mining professionals and leading figures in the mining industry. Introducing your host, Rob Tyson, founder and director of Mining International and Mining International Executive, a leading global mining recruitment and headhunting agency.
Hi, mining community. Welcome back to another episode of the Dig Deep, the Mining podcast. And today's guest is Marty Knauth, who's the CEO of Zanaga Iron Ore, who are an iron ore exploration and development company with a flagship asset, Zanaga Iron Ore Project, which is located in the Republic of Congo. I've known Marty for about 10 years now and has a strong reputation for building teams, turning visions into reality, and generally getting things done in numerous cultures and countries. He's recently joined Zanaga Iron Ore as the CEO and joins me this week to talk about the exciting project he's leading in the Republic of Congo. Some of the challenges the project is developing and obviously developing solutions for, and general discussion about leadership in the mining sector. Marty, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm very well today, Rob. It's a pleasure to be talking with you.
Yes, and I appreciate your time. As always, I wonder if you can tell the audience a little bit about yourself. And I imagine quite a few people that listen to this podcast will know you or know of you. But for those that don't know you, I just wonder if you just tell us a little bit about your career and how that's developed.
Sure. Well, it's a pleasure to be invited, and success, congratulations, much earned around this podcast. And to your audience today, hopefully you're in a safe place to listen in for the next few minutes. So I have worked around Australia and Asia and Africa and Central America now for a couple of years, beyond 30 years, with a commodity base between silver, lead, zinc, copper, cobalt, iron ore, sands, phosphates, uranium, and a few other things, both as a full-time employee and more so in the past 15 years developed and grown a bit of well, we'd like to say quite successful boutique mine consultancy, of which is not just around helping people in the industry, but also to promote what we do around the world towards creating a better place for people. And a lot of work we do is around executive communication and how executives in central offices are able to better relate to their operations on the ground, and helping those people on the ground understand their place in medium to large businesses. So this particular role that I've been attracted to at Zanaga is very exciting. And hopefully through this conversation, we can share some important facts around what we are aiming to do through this project, our enabling activities, and certainly the objectives as a growing company in the Republic of Congo.
Yeah, so I just wondered if you can give us an overview of Zanaga Iron Ore Co Limited, and also why you decided to join the company.
The Zanaga exploration permits were offered by the government of Republic of Congo to international investors in 2006. And a consortium at that time won those permits, and the exploration commenced in 2007. And ultimately, the company was listed on the AIM exchange in London in 2009. And the board members are still in place since that period. And last year, I was attracted to the project to assist the company in developing not just the ideas, but a clear and concise development plan and the project execution and the operation strategies. So since 2009, the company then was heavily invested into the feasibility phase. Nearly 300,000 metres of drilling was sponsored, which then resulted in a very large JORC compliant resource published in 2013. And in 2014, when the feasibility was published and ultimately then approved through the parliamentary processes in the Republic of Congo, the company then were awarded the full operating permits, both environmental, both construction operations, and the rights then to develop the project. And these ultimately then were re-extended for 25 years in 2018 after some update work then to the environment and social impact assessments and the relocation action plan for our regional communities. Unfortunately, the project was suspended in 2015 as the iron ore commodity prices dropped as low as $65 dry metric tonnes. And as we know, that whole period for the commodity cycle impacted many operators, and certainly the investment into exploration and early work projects. We saw the impact of that around the world. In 2019, Zanaga then were getting ready to move again when we were all locked down through that period, of which in the Congo was exclusions on border crossings for nearly 2 years. In 2022, the company then negotiated with the primary shareholder at that time to take back the controlling share. And in 2023, we started working around not only what I was engaged with was the strategic vision, but also with our community stakeholders and the government stakeholders in Republic of Congo, and also our technology partners around new technologies and upside on the flow sheet regarding recoveries, mass balance and quality for the project as well, which has put us into a very good place. Now, not only an extremely robust feasibility study, somewhat aged though after 10 years, but technically, financially, and from a risk point of view, very exciting. And certainly I'll talk through this conversation around some of the more recent work. Now, I've had a strong history in realising, planning and executing strategic visions. And when it came to reviewing the Zanaga feasibility study and what the value engineering work had been completed in the last 10 years, not only is it one of the most exciting projects I've been involved with, but to make a real, tangible difference then to the people of Republic of Congo as they are diversifying away from a petroleum-based economy into a minerals-based economy. This is something which not only just building a mine and a process plant is actually adding on there legacy infrastructure around community, around transport, energy, as well as then enabling other foreign investors following our heavy lifting, which we're very happy to do, then is to entry to the market, and not just to Republic of Congo, but the neighbouring countries of Gabon and Cameroon. So this is enabling a future growth in Republic of Congo. It's about employment opportunities, employment and upskilling. It's a diversified mineral economy with legacy infrastructure. And importantly, it provides high grade and low impurity concentrates to the low carbon steel industry around the world.
I wonder if you can just tell us about the project's feasibility study and the challenges that you may come across, obviously during the feasibility stage.
Well, the first challenge is it's a big project. When we talk about low value, high volume commodities such as iron ore, the numbers are big. Now, since the initial feasibility study was completed and published in 2014, and the trust in the iron ore commodities market has had to be rebuilt over the past 10 years. Certainly in re-engaging our previous stakeholders and new stakeholders, both from a works and operation as well as the investment case, the key challenge is reminding people who Zanaga are what we're about, and the scope and the scale of this project. And certainly one of the most strongest supporters are the government of Republic of Congo. And so they are very strongly supportive with our regional communities around the project site in actually getting moving. So the key challenge on reminding people around the robust financials of the Zanaga project and the quality of our products is something that we've now we've cut through that challenge. And it's a lot of hours and a lot of discussion. But now we're at a position where actually we've updated the costs up to a 2024 cost profile for capital, operating, direct and indirect costs, both international OEMs and vendors and construction managers, as well as our domestic partners in the Congo. And we've been able to bring the communication challenge, the technical challenge, the financial challenge into a fully updated risk matrix, of which now we can very transparently talk about the project execution, the cash flow required, of which then to meet the objectives over the next 5 to 10 years. In addition to that, we've also completed a suite of concept studies looking for value engineering opportunities, and certainly with a stronger market outlook for these high-grade products for low-carbon steel production. We believe we're in a very good space to talk about the other key challenges, which is now in Republic of Congo, looking to find the people to actually assist in construction operations with the right attitude and aptitude, of which is now quite high in our planning at Zanaga. For a small country as the Congo has only got 6 million people, and as a mining economy there is not yet present, the attraction, the training of our future employees is paramount to the success of the project and their ultimate operation. However, through that upskilling process, we'll certainly be able to reduce the risk then around the operation safety, reliability, environmental management when it comes to water, tailings and community management. And we believe that the challenges at the current time that we have identified, we've mapped, investigated, and certainly some very clear mitigation, not just strategies, but plans will put us into a much better space over the upcoming front-end engineering and planning phase, which we're commencing in the next 3 to 4 months.
Your relationship with the government seems to be on good terms. Why is that, and how did you get it to that particular stage?
That's a very good question. Thanks, Rob. And I suppose this is a learning for foreign operators and investors in every culture. As always the case of projects of this nature, they're large, certainly complex to those who are first seeing it for the first time. The key, I believe, and what we believe at Zanaga, is clear, consistent communication. You never overpromise, you never compromise one's integrity, and never lose sight of the long-term objectives. And Zanaga's key personnel, particularly those of which we have in Brazzaville, in Republic of Congo, have consistently demonstrated these values and over time developed trust, not only with Zanaga's regional communities, but the various levels of elected officials, both from a village president point of view, a regional prefecture point of view, as well as the regional governors and certainly the ministries, and direct access then to the ministers of mining, energy, transport, labour and finance, etc. And through that regular access over now what is a 15-year duration, we've not only built that trust in the people there that we have in the Congo, of which are fantastic people, but certainly through the processes and this clear, consistent communication. We have access directly to the ministers and their cabinets on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. And given that trust and that openness of communication, not only have we remained compliant when it comes to taxation and visas, etc., in the Congo, but we're able to have conversations three-way around foreign investment and getting this project moving with what would be a very, very heavy international labour base, investment base, as well as the materials import. So coming back to the question on how do we get a good term and a good relationship with government, it comes back to being professional, having a plan, and clearly never compromise one's integrity.
Wondered if you could just tell us a little bit about the management and executive team. You've mentioned obviously them a few times. I just wonder if you can just tell us a little bit about the people involved.
Okay, so over the past 14, 15 years, we've had a very active and consistent chairman for the Zanaga Public Company. And we've also had in-country in Brazzaville a very well-qualified country manager. And he's resident there in Brazzaville. Also, through that whole period, we've maintained our chief financial officer, as well as our technical leads, who actually then came from the Simandou project in 2009, given the interest in Zanaga. And so with that consistent board, as well as the financial, technical, as well as our social impact in the Congo, we've maintained a very stable company. We've maintained a very good, stable, reliable, and open communication relationship with our retail and other investment shareholders. And certainly through this period now, we're engaging new as well as larger strategic shareholders. Now, Zanaga is well recognised as not only having a great asset for development, but a very stable board and retail investment base.
Just wondering if you can just tell us a little bit about the Congo as a country. And obviously you mentioned they're relatively new to mining. So I just wondered what they already have in place in terms of obviously mining codes or mining laws.
Okay, this is something which we love talking about, as many people don't understand. There's two Congos. We have the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Kinshasa being the capital city, and in the east, Lubumbashi. And then across the Congo River, then we have the capital Brazzaville, or Republic of Congo. And then in the west, on the ocean side, then we have a large city called Pointe-Noire. Unfortunately, Congo's had troubled times as a French colony through a revolution, and lots of instability for near on 25-year period, and then gained stability in the late 1990s, of which then since has been a very stable government, and again, more and more open to foreign investment. And the Congo now is essentially living off royalties from petroleum exports, of which has been very productive now for near 60 years, particularly for offshore petroleum from Pointe-Noire, which there's a number of refineries, and more recently into natural gas, predominantly export offshore, but also now in the development of onshore gas and oil resources. There has been recent investment in highways and power infrastructure, and certainly we are seeking at Zanaga to be leveraging of recent investments in education and health. And that's something certainly we're on the ground around our regional communities that Zanaga and our operating company, named NPD Congo, are very well recognised with regarding sponsorship of schools, teaching resources, health resources, and medications, as well as maintaining a very clear sight around agricultural development, the quality of water, and access for clean drinking water for our communities.
What makes the Zanaga Iron Ore Project stand out, I suppose, amongst or among other iron ore producers within the African region?
Right. So here is the heart of what we are talking about. So thanks, Rob. So when it comes to Zanaga, we have a very compelling investment case. It's a well-drilled, well-understood geology, which was first discovered in the 1960s. More than $300 million spent in a feasibility study, of which the majority owner at that point was certainly aiming to be one of the most robust feasibility studies in their portfolio. And what sets us apart then from other competing projects, but also as we get into the market in the next 5 years, other competing operators, which have been around now for generations in Australia, South America, and Africa. So off the bat, when we talk about mining, we have an extremely low strip ratio of only 0.5 to 1. And so leading into the mine engineering, the scheduling of mine production, process production, we don't have to invest in huge mining or mobile equipment to move all the waste. We don't need to invest in large waste dumps and certainly the management of waste dumps. And we have a very reasonable two-stage capital profile of only what we estimate now from this recent very comprehensive cost update of only $4 billion over 10 years, of which the two stages are set apart with a 12 million tonne per year hematite process, of which would be exploiting the hematite resource, which has a depth between 40 and 60 metres across the very long distance explored geometry of the resource, which is currently about 15 kilometres long. And then a two-stage magnetite expansion after year 6, of which the capital for stage 1, which is estimated to be around $2 billion US, is fully paid back to the shareholders. And so the investment case for magnetite, of which then has a depth of between 120 to 300 metres down to footwall zone, then would generate around 18 million tonnes per year of magnetite concentrates. And coming back to our compelling case and the differentiation points around Zanaga is 12 million tonnes a year of hematite concentrates at 66%, 18 million tonnes per year of magnetite concentrates at 68.5%, each phase with low impurity levels around silica, phosphorus, alumina, and other elements such as manganese and magnesium, all certainly come 2030, when these concentrates will be in the market, is going to be some of the best stuff available for sale. So we're extremely excited about that. Then, post-physically, when we talk about the financial aspects of Zanaga, we have an extremely low operating cost base of around only $35 US per DMT, FOB at 0.1, of which we're looking at, say, international freight around $20, $25, is that on a dry basis, that this high-quality material will be at the marketplace for less than $60 a tonne. And now that's extremely lucrative when we look at then the commodity revenue unit. So we are looking at net return rates over that $4 billion investment over 10 years of not only net rates of return above 25%, but a very short payback period of less than 6 years for stage 1 and less than 6 years for stage 2, of which then we're modelling now not only an extremely long potential life with more than 7 billion tonnes in resource and 2 billion tonnes in a JORC-compliant reserve of more than $30 billion of free cash flow over the initial 30-year asset life plan. Further differentiating case, particularly when looking at big iron ore projects on the western coast of Africa, is we are the closest to the coast and thus the export infrastructure to our markets. And critically though, and one of Zanaga's key points of differentiation, is the project and the operation are fully permitted, and our mine operating agreements are fully and enacted in law in Republic of Congo.
You've been in the mining industry for over 30 years now. What major challenges do you see the industry facing sort of over the next few years? And I suppose we've had a little bit of a turbulent last few years. I just wondered how you think the next few years will unravel.
Oh, this is a highly talked about topic, and certainly, Robin, in your expert field there, that you know exactly what we're going to talk about. And taking a lead from one of our major challenges I mentioned for Zanaga is finding the right people with the right attitude and the right aptitude for the work. And for all of the countries and cultures I've worked with through the recent years, it's one key observation that I've made, and certainly has a passion of mine around upskilling, not only technically, but around on ways we communicate. And so I believe the biggest challenge that the industry is facing, not only from a geology, mining, survey, metallurgy, processing, technical base, but more so on how our technical people around the world communicate with the decision makers in the finance, legal, project investment, and investment third parties as well. In that, how do we actually demonstrate not only to the investment market, but then to our host communities, which are our own families, is that mining, minerals development, materials engineering is good for the planet. Now, we need to work harder. We need to train harder. We need to communicate harder around that mining, materials management, bulk materials handling, through quality products that all of our raw feed goes into, actually does make a difference to the planet, and makes a difference certainly to the growing population on the planet. And what we need to demonstrate a lot clearer is that, whether it's through government stakeholders, education stakeholders, community stakeholders, is that without mining, as difficult as that is, it is a prerequisite to life on Earth. And how do we actually then enable and invigorate and entice other people into the business with the right attitude and aptitude for what is sometimes extremely difficult work? I'm not talking about safety. I'm talking about the work we do is highly challenging, and where we need to do it is even more challenging, such as in remote areas of Republic of Congo. And so the key risk I see to the required growth of our industry globally is at the grassroots, whether it's primary school, high school, but more so in people's homes, on how valuable mining is. And the more we talk about that, the better chance we have of getting good engineers, good geologists, good metallurgists, apart from good lawyers and good accountants, to actually then promote what we do. And then we have a chance of keeping people in the industry, of which we've seen the last certainly 10 years. People leave the industry, and we are left with less talent, less people around to do this difficult work, of which we have to admit the easy mining is finished globally, and we need good people, and we need good assets such as Zanaga to actually keep making a difference that we've done now for thousands of years.
Obviously, what you've been talking about is branding of our industry. And I suppose, and I hear often that we're not good promoters of our own industry. And I guess that needs to be improved. Have you got any thoughts as to, and obviously you have mentioned about grassroots and our younger generation understanding what mining is, but do you have any sort of further thoughts as to how, or what you would like to see people within our industry, maybe governing bodies, maybe governments, and maybe other parties, what else you would like to, and obviously it's a slow burn, what else would you like to see some of these organizations or some of these groups start to do to promote and put mining in a better light?
Well, it needs to start at the top, Rob. We can't influence teachers. We can't influence college professors, but we can influence our elected officials in most countries in the world. And that's, again, around integrity and domestic growth, even in advanced economies, still rely on minerals to build highways, build schools, build cars, build homes and hospitals. And that's where the conversation must take place. In today's geopolitics, it's hard to get time, and it's hard to be a voice of which many see, particularly those in elected positions, see as a dirty industry. And we need to promote more, certainly, about the quality, the passion, let alone the proven success that the industry has promoted around water management, communities, closure, as well as then the economic benefits of mining, let alone the actual physical products. Now, I note in the US, in Canada, Australia, and now more so in Asia and South America, that there are movements across the geopolitical spectrum on allowing a voice from the mineral industry. And we need, again, through clear and consistent communication, that the people who are now listening now actually need to be told the good stuff and really promote, whether it's through site visits or whether it's through more one-on-one conversations with the minerals industry stakeholders, then with the elected stakeholders. And then we have to trust that clear, consistent communication over what, as you said, would be a long period of time, then would cascade down to the education systems. That said, the minerals industry employs millions of people around the world, and those millions of people around the world have families. And so I believe that people in our industry, whether directly or indirectly, have a responsibility for the sustainability of our industry is to promote the good stories at home. And certainly that's a passion of mine. It's a passion of all of my circle of thousands of friends, is we can never stop talking about why we need mining.
Yeah, certainly. And lastly, I wonder if you can just give us the sort of short-term outlook of Zanaga Iron Ore, what you're looking to achieve over the sort of the next 6 to 12 months. And also just wondered if there was anything else that you want to add and inform our audience about.
Okay, so we are tying up a series of partnerships now, both technically, financially, then to support us through the next critical phase of what is of any large project, which is the front-end engineering and design phase. So we'll be commencing that late in the third quarter this year, and that would run physically, both in country, but with our technology partners around the world for about 15 months, of which then, following a reporting period and updating financial models, etc., we'd be in a position for financial investment or construction decision in the middle of 2026. From there, certainly not only on the updated environment, social, health and impact assessments, the updated flow sheets from the test work which we're planning, from the updated mass and water balances, the mine and processing production schedules, as well as an updated project execution plan, we'd be looking for early works commencement and construction by the end of 2026, which would see us then commissioning in the first half of 2030 for the phase 1 hematite process for 12 million tonnes a year. And come 2030, and certainly being in the market at that time, as the well-known blends of iron ore products around the world will be in decline, as well as then looking forward to the stage 2 commencement, which is the 18 million tonne magnetite process around 2035. So certainly the next 15 to 18 months, giving through the feed phase leading up to FID in mid-26. Yes, it's well planned, it's well scoped, well scheduled, and certainly we are getting on with the job.
Marty, thank you for your time. Appreciate you giving us an overview of Zanaga Iron Ore and what you're looking to obviously achieve over the coming years, and obviously wish you well and every success in doing that. If our audience, or I encourage our audience to follow your story and follow the company, how can they go about doing that? What kind of social media platform channels are you on?
Okay, the audience then can find us at zanagairon.com via our website, and we have a number of contact opportunities there. We also have a LinkedIn page and an X account, of which we're certainly doing our best to maintain some continuous information flow. My recent travels in 5 countries in the past month not only demonstrates the interest we have, and part of this role I have is to actually put ourselves in our stakeholder and potential stakeholders' front yard to talk about the positive nature of Zanaga, and certainly welcome any questions. And I wish all yourself, Rob, your family, and everyone listening a safe and productive day. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, thank you, Marty. And all those social media channels, etc., we will put in the show notes, accompany this for easy access. So thank you again, Marty. Appreciate your time, and all the best for 2024 and beyond.
Okay, thanks again, Rob. Good. Stay in touch.
Yeah, great. Hope you enjoyed that episode. As always, please keep sharing this content, not just with people in our mining industry, but people outside of our mining industry, because we need to promote mining in a good light. And obviously Marty has explained what they're looking to achieve, and how that can help Congo as a country, and obviously a lot of benefits to the population of Congo. And we need to spread this message far and wide. So appreciate your continued support. Please, like I said, share within our industry, but also outside of our industry, this episode and other episodes that we produce. So until next time, happy mining.
Thank you for listening. Remember to reach out to Rob via the show notes, and be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, happy mining, helping each other to improve the mining industry.